Hello traders, welcome back to another daily recap. Today is Tuesday, August 6, 2024. It's almost 8:50 a.m. Eastern. Running a little late today, had to relocate my setup here. Got a thunderstorm outside. Hopefully you won't hear too many background noises. So we've got a few levels today, and I believe this 517.35, which is the close from yesterday, the gap left over from yesterday, they're above it currently. I believe it's pretty important in the long term. I've got some other reasons to believe this general zone, that if they fight it, or they probably will fight it, they have been for a while yesterday, they need to stay above it to get back on the bullish side of things. I mean, they're clearly have fallen out of bed at this point. But if they start closing a lot of candles, hourly, multi-hour candles, daily candles below 517.35, then they're kind of giving up an important area and could possibly go lower, which, anything can happen. But just kind of noticed that last night when I was studying this, and confirmed a few things this morning. But we're going to treat these other levels like we usually do, which means if price gets to them in the SPY, then a trigger in the E-minis is activated to trade futures contracts. So, and this is just for small scalp trades. There could be some convergences of like good indicators all converging at the same time and same price, same place, which could mean that you might want to go for more than a base hit. But a base hit in this strategy is simply just 4 points, a pretty simple scalp trade. And we have a huge spread like we have the last few days, 504.05 all to 526.90. But there could be still some big moves today, and looking for rallies to happen if they can get their footing. We'll come back to this chart after the market closes to analyze whatever trades happened. Once again, I'm still considering not taking trades today, but we'll see. Sometimes it's just hard to just stay a spectator when you know that there's so many points available to pull if you can get on the right side of a trade. So that's what these levels are for. Got you on the other side. We're back. It's been over 10 hours, I guess, since we last talked. So I didn't take any trades today. I will explain why. Trusting the process would have given me at least 12 points because 3 trades were possible at the levels. Now, once again, these levels were on the board a long time before the market opened. And just take a look and see how if you had these levels, just think how you could have traded them. I'll explain how you would have traded them per the rules, and then I'll show you recording. I was actually recording the first little while, a couple hours or so. And I'll talk through my mental process of why I did not take any trades, and kind of regret it at this point, but it's okay. If there was any day to sit back and just relax and not worry about trades, today would have been a good day, I think. So I like to wait for 15 minutes after the opening bell to take trades, and they never came down into this 517.35. They pulled away after 9:45. That's on the Eastern time zone. Now, whether you adjusted this 523 or not, you would have got the base hit just going short right here. When they hit, when they hit this level right here, they pulled down a few minutes later and would have given you a base hit right there. Then they gave you more later, but that's the time to take your 4 points or a little bit more. When there's a lot of volatility, I don't typically adjust the levels. I had an order to sell here, and I was even looking at this one here when it got up to 526.90. So first of all, I want to point out, so that's your first trade. One short trade, one base hit in the books. They got up to this 526.90, and the high of this candle, what is this, 1049 or so, 1050, was 526.51. Not close enough for a near miss. Now, if they get within 10 cents or less, within 10 cents, and pull away really fast, then that's a near miss, and I want them to, essentially that's the trade. And I'm not sure I would take the trade again, take that level again, unless something else just made it look more promising. However, this was not a near miss. So if they're going to come back into it again, it's worth taking the trade. But meanwhile, this is a recycle trade down here. So once they got out of this level, there's enough time that has elapsed between the last time they were at it and they came back again. So you can take this trade for a recycle is what I call it. So essentially this is a long trade now. You took a short trade here, got a base hit. This is now a long trade, base hit as they bounced up. And then when they finally did make it up to 526.90, that was a really good trade. So 3 base hits for the day. That's 12 ES points. Just realized I haven't put this video or this recording into the process or the system I have to speed it up. So I'm just going to scrub through this. This is just real time. So if it's just playing right now. You can see the time 9:41. So it's, things are going pretty slow, but this is real time. So let's just scrub ahead here. You can see that was the first order, waiting for them to come down into 517.35. Never happened. So that's just a no trade. I had an order to go short at 523. And so this, like I said, that's not a near miss what they did there. But I just canceled it. You see, I made the line dashed, thinking I might come back later and do something, but I never entered the trade. And they went up to 526.90. I think I was still looking at the screens at this point. Yeah. So you see me make that line dash just to kind of keep an eye on it, but decided not to trade it at that point. And at some point, 11 or so, I just went, left the screens, went back and did a couple of things, finished a book I'd started, one of the books I brought for this little vacation. And I got back to the screens. It was right before 12 o'clock and saw they had bounced off this 523.12 again and stopped the recording around 12, I think it was. So there's nothing more after this. So just to show you that I didn't really do anything today. Here's another visual just to show the 3 trades. Short trade here, just enough for a base hit, and a little bit more later. Long trade, and the third trade, which is a short trade as well. And I guess I didn't mention my thought process. So when they did not come down to 517.35 and pulled up pretty sharply out of this, that's, I wanted to be on the long side. There were several things going on this morning that kind of indicated that all the loss from the last couple of days, there was going to be some clamoring back up out of that. Several markets were positive in the morning and poised to climb. So I really wanted to be on the long side. So when I did not get this trade here, I just felt a little bit gun shy at this level, and they bounced around it. But it worked, and trusting the process would have netted me some points. And really, I wasn't even here when this happened. Probably would have bought here if I'd been watching the screens. But I was in the middle of a book at that time and not really interested. And so no trades for me, but just want to show you once again, if you trusted the process, trusted the levels, followed the rules, there's no reason you couldn't have had 12 points or more. In fact, if you did have these levels for the morning, those of you who are on my list and you had the levels from the morning, I am curious if you made any money, if you traded them at all. I'm curious to know how you are doing with these levels. Here is the tracking log, playing by the rules. That's the PBR output sheet here. So 3 base hits, you can read level 5, 2 trades on that one trade at the level 6 here. So 12 points. My personal trades, nothing, no trades taken. So you can see where the daily average is, the average per hour, profit loss percentages, and everything. And then I'm going to show you one more thing just to kind of keep track of it. I've filtered out everything except for 2024 March through current time, August 6th. Why? Because March was when I started this other log to track my own personal trades to show the difference of playing by the rules compared to my personal trades. And here you are. So I want to kind of keep doing this because this is really more indicative of, what you can do if you are willing to take more risk, not necessarily, but, if you're willing to squeeze more points out of each of these levels or take trailing or take some trailers on some positions. Today's a good example of playing by the rules. You would have got a fair amount of points, at a minimum $600 with 1 contract traded at each level, and I got 0. But I'm not complaining. I'm willing to do that. So there are less days. I take less trade days. It just ends up working out that way. But I tend to have higher profits. I'll keep showing this, but that's just that's where we landed. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to this recap. I hope you found it helpful. Again, if you're among those on my list who had the levels from this morning before the market opened and you traded them, I'd like to know if you trusted them enough to trade them and pulled some money out of the market today. So if you did, feel free to leave a comment below if that worked out for you. And if you're wondering how to get the levels yourself, you can ask that as well in the comments, and I'll point you in the right direction. Before the opening bell tomorrow morning, I'll have new levels on the board. We'll do this again. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.